วัสดีค่ะเราชื่อพุ่มพามากินขนมเส้นวันนี้แกงพะแนงกับขนมเส้นจ้ะมาจ้ะแซ่บๆหิว
Yeah, it's cold out there tonight. Yeah. Yeah. That's no good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a call tomorrow and let you know, okay?
ไว้ผักแตง
Yeah,
กะห
right
ล่ำ
around 12 to 1.
กับมะ
Yeah.
เขือ
Okay. We talk to you then. Huh? Yeah.
แซ่บ
Yeah. 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 See what happens.
ๆกันละมั้งแบบไง
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, kitties. Yeah. That's good. Kitty be happy. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Those cats like that wet food too. Not so much dry food. Yeah. Well, they get older, it's hard for them to digest it. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I give Venus wet food because it's hard for her to digest dry dog food anymore. So, yeah. Yeah. She probably don't have many teeth left. Yeah. Yeah, that's that's kind of. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. She's an old kitty. Yeah. Yeah, that kitty's old. Yeah. 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 Every 1 year, human is like 9 years for a cat. Yeah. So. Oh wow. Yeah. It's a long time. Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. That's so that at Lori, what did she do with all her stuff? Oh. Yeah. 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 Huh. That's something. Yeah, I was online looking this evening for different sea containers, you know. So now I got to try to find a company. I type in, you know, when I contact them, if they can send me their phone number and address so I can come take a look at it. None of them have ever replied back with an address. So they don't want me to come out and take a look and see what they got. I don't want to do business with them. Yeah. So. Yeah. I had one tonight right before he called. Said, "Oh, send me your number. I'll call you." That ain't doing me no good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you go ahead and eat, and I'll call you tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.
Get started today.
So, the homeless crisis in our country has gone from bad to worse, and hundreds of towns and cities, hundreds of thousands of people are without a roof under their head. This week, cross country hit the ground in San Diego, where a short-term band-aid have failed the city, and they're in desperate need of a solution. Or there may be a groundbreaking answer. Watch.
The homeless crisis in America is out of control. The latest numbers from our federal government estimates nearly 600,000 individuals experience homelessness in the U.S. on any given night. And nowhere is this crisis more apparent than in California. The feds estimate California has nearly a third of the nation's homeless individuals. Once sparkling cities like San Diego confronted by tents, needles, and trash. Michael Branch is a former Navy SEAL who operates the East County Transitional Living Center, an area shelter currently housing some 600 homeless and transitioning them back into employment and independent living.
Here on the street, there's open beds. You're waiting to be able to help. What prevents them from coming here?
So one of the things I believe that prevents people is that this is a program that requires people to help themselves.
We decided to hit the streets to see the problem firsthand, and what's being compared to a new Skid Row here in San Diego.
You know, one thing I always notice when I come out here is that you see the problem, and you see all these services that are offered out here.
Right.
And so there's a choice right here. So what is it going to take to get folks treatment off the street?
Well, in my personal opinion, sometimes consequence drives behavior change. So if there is no consequence, a lot of times folks aren't motivated enough to change. But a lot of times if you end up in jail or prison or homeless, you would think would be one of the things that would drive someone to get some help. But essentially there's no, the carrot and the stick. It seems like there's more carrot and not enough stick.
And with shelters across the country overflowing, and so far empty promises from the White House to reduce homelessness by 25% in the next 2 years. There's at least one group proposing a new real-world fix to this big picture problem. It's called Sunbreak Ranch, and its creators want to give San Diego homeless temporary shelter, as well as provide social services for mental health, drug rehabilitation, and vocational training, in hopes of getting people off the street for good. George Mullen and Brian Castor brought us to the ranch to explain.
Gentlemen, tell me, where are we right here?
Here is all Miramar land, as far as you can see, federal land, and basically unused. But we have a use for it.
And what is that use?
Well, ultimately, we want to develop a location solution to help our homeless brothers and sisters. A place where all the homeless in San Diego City and County can come to, where we can help them turn around their lives. It's meant to be a transition place, a triage, if you will, to get them back into independent living.
There'll be food kitchen, there'll be a mess hall, there'll be women's center, there'll be storage facility, there'll be a dog pound, there'll be gardening, there'll be all the things that are needed. But the whole idea here is to centralize the homeless, so all the providers are there to help them get out of here to where they need to be.
But in order to get the ranch up and running and serving this community, George and Brian are calling on the federal government for support.
We need them to say, hey, we're going to say, we're going to lease you 2,000 acres of that unused, spectacular land as a federal homeless emergency zone. And what we want to do is we want to get several big philanthropists, a big foundation, to say we're going to put up $275 million for a 3-year beta test to do this in San Diego. And if it works, then the federal government agrees that they start picking up the Sunbreak Ranch concept outside of every city.
So you've heard what the folks at Sunbreak Ranch need. We reached out to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to get a response to their proposal. We didn't hear back, but you can learn more about the Sunbreak's effort at sunbreakranch.com. So up next, American finances are so bad that most people are willing to lie during a job interview just to get hired. Do me a favor, Abby Hornison, I'm here to break it all down.
Hi, Grandma. I played baseball today.
Oh, that's great.
In its pages was a thorough refutation of any negligence on the part of the LAPD and coroner's office, as well as facts showing the allegations made in recent conspiracy theories to be false. The report called into question the credibility of people like Lionel Grandison, who had long since been fired from the coroner's office.
What we do know from Lionel Grandison is that several weeks after Marilyn's death, he was caught stealing from dead people.
Went back to the original death scene and the condition of the body.
เผ็ดจ้ะใส่ลูกโดดน้
established independent of these new things coming to light, and concluded there was no credible evidence to support a murder investigation at that time.
In the words of the report, the cumulative evidence available to us fails to support any theory of criminal conduct, and based on the information available, no further criminal investigation appears required. The case of Marilyn Monroe was closed, yet again. But, not
ำขนม
unsurprisingly,
เส้นกิโลนะ
for a star who shone even brighter in death than she had in life, it would not be the end. Barely 2 years had passed when British journalist Anthony Summers pushed Marilyn back into the spotlight with his book, Goddess, The Secret Lives of Marilyn Monroe. Summers had been assigned by a tabloid to cover the district attorney's 1982 report. Goddess mostly followed the now all too familiar narrative and contained all the same players. The Kennedys, J. Edgar Hoover, and the mob all make appearances.
There was a calculated attempt by criminals not only to set up Robert Kennedy in terms of his affair with Marilyn Monroe, which would spell his professional and personal ruin, but even perhaps to try to set him up with murdering him.
He introduces a lot of second and third hand testimony of people who allegedly know the facts.
บ่เหมือนจ้ะ
Can be
เดี๋ยวน้อยนึง
corroborated.
Summers made no bones about Marilyn's condition in the last months of her life, painting her as psychotic and severely addicted to drugs and alcohol. He surmised that alleged pillow talk with the Kennedys and the elusive Red Diary may have
ให้
made
เห
her
นื่อยแล้วยัง
alive.
กินมาหมด
Anything they said on that subject would have been of great interest to either Soviet or Cuba.
เอานี่นะจ้า ขอบคุณที่ติดตามรับชมค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ